Okay, this is a calculus question around the equation of a tangent to a curve. And in question 13, if you look at that one first, it says there's a curve called y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 3. And then there's a straight line, 4x minus y plus 2 equals 0. So you've got on an x and y axis, somewhere on that x and y axis you have a curve. Okay, that's that one. And then somewhere else you have a straight line. And, well, it would have a bit of a slope now, this straight line, so like that. That's that one. That's the straight line. There is some point on that curve. So it could be here, 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 where the slope is the same as the slope of that line. And they want to know where exactly on the curve is the slope the same as the slope on the line. Well, let's find the slope of the line first, of that straight line. Now, all we've been given is the equation of that straight line. It's 4x minus y plus 2 equals 0. And when all you've been given is the equation of a line, and you want to find the slope, you have to rewrite it. Rewrite the equation in the form or in the order y equals mx plus c. That's what we have to do to that equation. And by doing that, we'll be able to find the slope, because the slope will be whatever number is there in front of the x. So we need to rewrite this equation here in the form y equals mx plus c. Okay, well, let's leave the y where it is and leave the equals where it is, and let's bring this 4x over to this side, become a minus 4x, and let's bring this plus 2 over to this side, it'll become a minus 2. Now it's almost in this form, but we don't want a minus y, it should be a plus y. So we'll change that to a plus, but that means the other terms will change signs as well. So now we have the slope there. It's 4. The slope of the straight line is 4. Now that'll come in handy in a moment, because now we need to work with the function equation, and we need to find the slope of the function. Now the function was the other equation, this one up here. We need to find the slope of that, and that equation is 2x squared minus 8x plus 3. Now, to find the slope of a function, doing this won't work because it has an x squared in it. So when it has an x squared in it, you can't use that method to find the slope. Instead, you use a different method. You differentiate. So that's how you find the slope of a function. You differentiate to find the slope. Okay? So let's differentiate this. In other words, differentiating means we need to find what dy dx is. So when you differentiate that function, if you're not sure of how to differentiate, you can watch the video on differentiating that was made earlier. When you differentiate, you get 4x minus 8. That's the differentiated version. And if I were looking for a slope, I would normally be given a point in the question. So they'd say, find the slope of this function at the point 2, 6. Let's say, just for example, that's what they gave us. Normally then I would sub in the 2, which is the x coordinate. I would sub in the 2 in for x. And I would find my answer. That would be my slope. But in this case, I'm not actually given a point. So it seems that this is as far as I can go. But now this is where what I've gotten over here comes in. They tell us that the slope is equal to 4. So I put this differentiated version, I put that equal to 4. And I solve it. So if I try and solve that, it'll be 4x equals 4. And bring that minus 8 over, becomes a plus 8. Which means 4x is equal to 12. Which means x is equal to 12 over 4. Which means x is equal to 3. Now I have the first part of my coordinate. I have the x part, 3. You see, in this question we're kind of working backwards. We haven't been given the point. Instead, we've been given the answer if you knew the point. So what we have to do, and that is what we did here, we put our equation 4x minus 8 equal to the answer and then solved it. And that gives us the x coordinate. The only thing that remains now is to try and find the y coordinate. Well, that's fairly straightforward. To find the y coordinate, we get what we got for x, which was 3, and we sub it back into the original equation. Because even if you notice in the question, it says y equals all of this. So if I think of it that way, y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 3. And of course I know what x is. It's 3. So y equals 2 by 3 squared minus 8 by 3 plus 3. So y equals 2 by 9 minus 24 plus 3, which means y equals 18 minus 24 plus 3. So y equals minus 3. And now I have my y coordinate that I can put in there. So it's minus 3. So now I know the point. That was what the question was. The question was, find the point on the curve where the slopes are the same. And the answer is 3 minus 3. How did we do it? We got the slope of the line. It worked out as 4. How did we do that? By rewriting it in the form y equals mx plus c, and the slope will always be the number in front of the x. And then we used that information in our function. We got our function, we differentiated it, we put it equal to the slope. And by doing that, we were able to find what x is. And once we had what x was, we subbed that in back into the original function that said in the question that that's what y was equal to. We subbed that 3 in there for x, and we got the y coordinate. So the coordinate where the slopes are the same is 3 minus 3. Now the other question in that little page that looks tricky there is 15. And in 15 it says, if the slope of the tangent to the curve that is 3 at the point where x is equal to 2, find the value of k. Okay, remember, if you're ever looking for the slope of a function, you must differentiate it. That'll give you the slope. And they have also given us the answer. It's 3. So that means if we differentiate this, and whatever we get, put it equal to 3, and then sub in the 2 for x, we should be able to find what k is. So that sounds quite confusing, so let's do a little bit of it here. It says kx cubed minus 2x squared minus x plus 7. That's the function. So let's differentiate it. In other words, let's find dy dx. Well, it'll be 3k x squared minus 4x minus 1, because there's a 1 here, and that's it, differentiated. And just like in the last question, put it equal now to the slope. Okay, and they've given us what the slope is. They said it's 3. So put it equal to 3. And not only that, they're telling us what x should be. They're saying that x is 2. So we're going to sub in 2 in here for x as well. So we'll have 3k by 2 squared minus 4 by 2 minus 1 equals 3. So that means 3k by 4 minus 8 minus 1 equals 3. So that means 12k minus 8 minus 1 equals 3. Let's bring our numbers over onto the other side. We'll have 12k is equal to 3 plus 8 plus 1, which means 12k is equal to 12. And of course, if we divide both sides by 12 now, that'll isolate the isolate the k. We'll end up with k is equal to 1. So it's a similar question to question 13, but slightly, obviously slightly different, because you're not dealing with a straight line. So they gave us the function, they told us what the slope is, so we differentiate it and we put it equal to the slope, and then we subbed in the x value they gave us. We multiplied it all out and we got k on its own. So k is equal to 1. Okay, I hope that helped.